this video, we'll practice understanding the sum and average formula. So we begin by typing in some information here, and you see there's a list of numbers. Annual income, YouTube partner, $500, indie development, $3,000, corporate secretary, $70,000, Google AdSense, $70. Okay, so let me just delete this information here, and let's try to add this up. Now, you could use your calculator. Let's say 7,000 plus 3,000, 70,000 plus 3,000 is 73,570. You could do it in your head, but it's prone to error. In fact, even if you use a calculator, you can accidentally press enter or additional plus sign or forget something. There's just so much room for error. Now, is there a way to be more reliable? Now, we learned previously that we could do this equals this plus click on this plus click on this plus click on this and press enter. And that would actually give you the total, 73,570, which is great. But there must be a better way to do this. Notice how, because we actually use the formula here, in the formula bar you see the equal sign, don't forget that. As we change these numbers, say I change the number 500 to 600 and press enter, notice how the total here actually automatically updates. Is there a better way of doing this? Let me click here and press delete. I'm going to move to the top here in the home tab. You should be able to find this auto sum symbol. It looks like the letter E. This symbol is a math symbol called sigma. I'm going to just click it, and it's pretty smart. For the most part, it knows what numbers you're trying to add. Notice how it's selecting the correct region. Now, this formula here is kind of new, but we'll mull it over. Press enter. So it automatically knew that the total was 73,670. Now let's break it down and understand how this works. So let me try pressing delete. So we mentioned that Excel is a powerful calculator. I'm going to press equals SUM. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. I'm going to type in a bracket here, and notice how as you type letters, it automatically gives you a list of many formulas, and there are so many formulas in Excel, you only need to know a couple depending on your job. But one of the most important ones is sum. I'm going to press shift bracket equals sum, and notice how it's giving you a hint here. What's the first number? Well, I could do first number, comma, second number, comma, etc. So this is another way of adding up these numbers. Now there's something, there's a better technique, and it's the idea of actually clicking and dragging the area you want. This is a lot less prone to error. Sometimes people, as they're typing these letters, these rows and columns they make a mistake. But when you actually drag a certain region, your chance of error is a lot lower. Notice how I dragged from top to bottom, and what we have here is the first cell, the beginning, B2, column B, row 2 refers to the first value, which is 600, colon, which means all the way until, colon, all the way until B5, which is the end. So this is the first cell, and this is colon, all the way to B5, which is the last cell. And I'm going to close the bracket. This is totally optional. You don't even need to close the bracket if you don't want to. And then press enter. Notice how we have the total sum. In fact, if I change the number 70,000 to 80,000, say you got a promotion for being so good with Excel and so friendly, press enter. Notice how the total actually updates automatically, and this is great. So I'm going to finish this tutorial off by highlighting these numbers here. Let me delete this and just blast from the past. I'm going to insert a nice column graph here, and notice how we have a graph, and clearly we can see that being a secretary is a lot better. Let me try that one more time. Let me actually highlight both informations and go insert column graph, and we can clearly see that being a corporate secretary is probably the best route for your career. And as I change these values, what if you actually become a successful app developer and you actually hit it big? So I'll just say $200,000, and you can see that for a certain percentage of indie developers, it's actually beneficial for them to focus on what they're gifted in. So congratulations, you now know how to use the sum formula. We reviewed a little bit about how to create graphs, and we understand that the idea of a formula is very powerful because it actually updates everything automatically, whether it be the numbers, whether it be the graph. Let's finish off with one more. So we know how to use the sum formula, auto sum, and that's great, and we also know how to type it up from scratch. Notice how there's a drop down box here. I can even choose the average, and there's some other formulas here too. So I'm going to choose average. So equals average is the other formula, so press enter. So you can see that the average number for these incomes is 70,000. And whether the information be running up or down as well as sideways, so let me just clear this for a second here, press delete. I'm going to just type in some numbers. I'll just say 5, 10, 7, 2. You can actually click anywhere. I can just click in the middle of the screen and type in equals average bracket, and you can just highlight the numbers even going sideways, and then you can close it if you wish and press enter. And notice how the average of these numbers is 6. When I click on the actual cell, we know that you did a good job using the formulas as opposed to just hard coding the answer, because when you look in the formula bar it says equals average A1 all the way to D1. So congratulations, you now have a better understanding of how basic formulas, specifically equals sum and equals average, works.